So he had 2 daughters from his first wife that were really close in age. I think they maybe were 14 months apart in age. His oldest daughter has a personality disorder. I'm not sure what it was, but something was definitely wrong with her. I know schizophrenia runs in his family. I don't know if that's what she had or not. So yeah, I don't know if she had schizophrenia or not. Something's wrong with her, and she's very, very violent. And so I tried to keep as much distance as I could from her. But I also wanted to try and help her as much as I could. So I would take her to doctor's appointments and stuff if possible, if we could get her into one or she would agree to it. And like he would have to get her buy-in for it, but I mean with therapy, you kind of need to get buy-in for that, because if somebody doesn't want help, they're not gonna actually do anything to get help in therapy, you know. But she needed more than therapy. She needed medication, because like she for real has like a chemical imbalance in her brain and needs medication. And from time to time she would be on medication, but not always. And he wasn't really good at enforcing that. So anyway, so when she wasn't taking her medications, she would scream at everybody all day and do death threats and everything. It was scary. It was very scary. He thought for sure she was going to kill you. This is a naturally muscular girl who played rugby, by the way. And she is in her teenage years, late teenage years. When she was a senior in high school, it was during COVID times, and when we were all kind of like having to work from home, but the kids were back in school. And so I let her back into the house from school one day. She forgot her key. I don't know if she was just real frustrated from forgetting her key or whatever, but I let her into the house and she just started wailing on me. She's beating me in the head with her fist, and I hit the ground, and her younger sister had to come, her younger sister that's 14 months younger than her, had to come pull her off of me. I was on the ground for a while. Like, she kept hitting me on this side of my head and my shoulder and everything. I was on the ground. I couldn't do anything. Like, I was putting my foot out, trying to keep her body away from mine to try and be longer, my foot longer than her arms from hitting me in the head, just to try and like protect myself a little bit, but it wasn't helping. Her sister had to take her off of me. She was violent. Anyway, I really wanted her out of the house at that point, and I begged my husband for my safety and the safety of the other kids in the house. His other daughter, the third daughter, who was 10 years old or younger at the time, like, for our safety, please take this violent child that you have and make her go to an inpatient facility for the safety of everybody else in this house. Please, please. I can't live, he would say, I can't live in this house if my daughter doesn't live here too. And it's like, who cries the loudest is who gets their way. Like, and he's crying the loudest. And I'm just like, but she's violent. She's physically hurting me. She could hurt other people in the house too. Like, what needs to happen for you to see that this is so serious and to stop this girl from hurting anybody else? She needs help. She needs constant supervision. This is not something that can be like just hand waved away, you know? But that's what he was trying to do, and I can't stress enough that like that's just not gonna cut it. Like, you can't do that. So at that point, I think is kind of when I made up my mind that I wasn't gonna stay much longer, that I was gonna wait for his middle daughter to get old enough to go to college, and then I was gonna leave. And that was a couple years away still. So that's what I did. To be continued. Yeah, so it was my decision to stay in a violent house for almost 9 years, where I was getting sexually assaulted by my husband, where he would threaten to kill himself if I didn't do the kind of things he wanted to do in the bedroom, where his oldest daughter was physically violent towards me, who also sang and shouted death threats at everyone in the house, who was violent just in general, and it was just a house of horrors. It was just awful. There was times when she would just walk around the house naked, like all the time. Like, this happened a lot. She would just walk around with a blanket around her, but she'd be totally naked underneath. And you could tell, like, it was just not covering anything. She would just barely have it around her. She was just that kind of like screwed up in the head. And we'd find her just laying naked in the living room in the middle of the day, and she would talk about how she was hearing voices in her head and screaming in her head, kind of things. Like, it was very sad. And she would fall asleep in the bathtub with the water running and flood the house. She, in the middle of the night, got some spaghetti and meatballs with marinara sauce and just painted her whole bedroom with it. There was marinara sauce with meat all over the walls and ceiling in her room. Just insane. And her dad, my ex-husband, doing little to nothing to help her out. And I'm unable to do anything to help her because I'm not her blood relative. I cannot get him to even fill out the medical power of attorney's forms because she's over 18 at this point. Like, I was there up until she turned like 20 years old or something. Like, I had been telling him since she was 17 years old that she's gonna be 18 soon. She's sick in the head. You haven't been doing anything for her whole life. Could you maybe start now? And he still didn't. Truly didn't seem to really care. Like, he cared about appearances, about what everybody else thought about him. And if his kids were seeing a psychotherapist or something, that would look bad on him somehow. But I think that's so super twisted. I feel like that makes you look good because you're getting your kid the help they need. It's not your fault if your kid has some kind of disability. Like, it's not your fault. You know, you just deal with it. I have kids with disabilities too. Like, I don't feel any shame about that. It's just like, okay, let's deal with it, you know? So, let's go see the doctor. Let's go see the therapist. Let's do what we need to do. Let's handle it. You know, we don't ignore those things. If you love your kid, you help them. You don't let them suffer their entire lives. So, anyway, that's what's going on that front.